Good morning. Today is December 9th, 5:32 in the morning, which you know what that means. 30, that minute, is when they shut off the lights. And so we're walking back to our apartment building in the I wouldn't say pitch black because obviously there's lights around me. Morning. There's a fellow runner in the morning. He's getting a late start. I got a late start. This family ain't getting a late start. We got lights on. Gailu blasting. Yep. Some people are just up at this hour. And I am too. Thanks a lot for checking in, getting some energy in the morning. I'm gonna be honest, man. These mornings, I've been feeling really low motivation. I'm just happy that my body is kind of locked in on waking up at 4:45 because I don't know, I just got no motivation recently. I don't know why, and it comes up and down, and I know it's all a part of the process. So this morning I'm gonna go stand by my newly lit tree to get some of the energy in the morning. But yeah, it's one of those days. These come in phases, come and go in phases. Knees a little bit sore, but whatever. You're not here to hear me complain about my life. I was reading up on some more cognitive biases yesterday. I think I talked about one of them. Cognitive dissonance. Oh, the Benjamin Franklin effect. Talked about that a couple days ago, and so I've been kind of re-interested in, biases and cognitive biases, and I've been restarting to read that book. Man, Thinking Fast, Thinking Slow, Thinking Fast, by I forgot his name. I can't think of his name right now. But anyway, I started it for a while. I think I read it for about a month, and it's one of those just like academic, supercharged books about psychology, and it's tough. It's not written in the most easy manner, so it is a bit of a doozy to start listening to that on my runs, and to not only listen to it but kind of process some of the ideas. But something that's interesting, I forgot what the name of it was, but if you came into somebody and you said, okay, I'm going to give you a test, and this test that you're going to take, this is going to be really, really, really difficult, really hard. I think even really, really hard for yourself. And then you give the person the test, and they work through it and they finish it. At the end, they feel like if you ask them, was it really, really hard? Most times, you'll get the response like, no, it wasn't as hard as you said it was going to be. Now compare that to if you gave somebody a test and you didn't give them a prompt, you didn't prime them to know what the level of the test would be. They work through it, they finish it. Actually, most times, 20% more than others would finish a lot slower than the persons that you primed as the scientists did this test. And when they asked them about the test afterward, they said it was the hardest test they've ever taken. And they chose people about the same level, intellectual level, however way they chose that, I don't know. But they chose people who are intellectually, supposedly, on the same level. And one group they got primed, and one other group didn't get primed. And the responses were what they expected. The ones that you prime, that you're going to tell them that the intensity is a lot greater than what they should expect, then they end up feeling at the end that it wasn't that hard, versus the other group who you don't prime, and they just say it's the hardest thing ever. So, and he said like, yeah, if you were told that there was a boy that lived in a house, a young boy who lived in this house, and he always wears a top hat wherever he goes out, you would be less surprised to see that boy in public wearing a top hat, because you were primed to see that boy in your mind wearing a top hat, versus if you hadn't been primed to see a boy wearing a top hat, you'd be like, wow, that kid is wearing a top hat. You wouldn't be as surprised, or it wouldn't be as much of a shock. And so there's kind of two approaches to that, where sometimes I feel that for myself, just jumping into something, I don't want to know I don't want to know how hard it is. I want to figure it out along the way, because if, for my personality, if you tell me that how hard it's going to be, then I have a really, really hard time wanting to start. You know, it's not like one of these tests that I'm obligated to do, but if I know that there's something like, okay, this is going to be a gargantuan, momentous task, the level of my motivation has to be a lot higher than kind of just falling into it. But if I'm able to get started knowing the level of pain, the level of intensity is going to require myself, and I still get started, then I think for me, I'm able to push through that barrier a little bit harder, because I have the internal motivation to get started, knowing that it's not going to be easy. So how are you? Like, which side of the coin do you fall on? Would you rather be primed, or would you rather not be primed? And what instances in your life have you had to take on a momentous task, and you wish, or you hadn't wished that you knew how hard it was going to be in the beginning? I take my weight loss journey too right now as an example. I wouldn't say that this is definitely hard. Like, every day I'm trying to cast a vote in myself for being a disciplined person. I think at the heart of it, I think that's what I'm trying to do. It's accomplish more than the weight, more than the consistency, more than the number, more than the tracking, more than all of this. I think for myself, I'm really just trying to tell myself, Jesse, you are a disciplined person. And I think I led a lot of my life not as a disciplined person. That's a bombshell. And discipline in the sense that being able to stick with something a long term. We all get started on something, we all do, and guilty as charged, right? My whole life, I've started something and I've stopped. I've started something, I'm going to go for it, and I've stopped. I started for something and I've stopped. And I think after a while, that kind of stuff just weighs on my mind and weighs on me as a person. It forms your identity. Like, you become this person, you tell yourself, man, you're not necessarily a loser, not necessarily you're a quitter, but you don't have that stick-to-itiveness. And that's kind of the self-talk I've been having with myself over the years, and especially past, pre-2019, like the 4 or 5 years before 2019. Like, I was having that just really bad self-talk, and not being the kind of person that I want and I look up to is someone who's able to stick something out, come rain or shine, and to see it to its fulfillment. And that's the thing about this whole process, what I'm doing right now. There is no end. There is no end. And so it forces me to just stick to it and reaffirm to myself, this is the kind of person that I am. And if I can do this, then I feel that maybe I can apply that to other parts of my life, whether it be my spiritual goals, my friendship goals, my business, financial goals. If I can able to self-discipline myself every single day like this, then maybe, hopefully, all of that will spill over, that internal motivation, that forming of the identity of who I am will spill over into other parts of my life. And that's why I feel it's so important for me to start these days early in the morning like this, and to every day cast a little vote for myself, like, you got this. And that's ultimately why this YouTube channel exists. That's ultimately why I make these videos, why I go for these runs. I think in the heart of hearts of who I'm trying to become is just somebody who is disciplined, because I've lived a life of non-discipline. Some people call it fanatic, some people call it a little extreme, but I think that's just my personality as well, that I am a bit gung-ho, I am a bit full throttle kind of mentality, and a lot of times I get started full throttle but then go super hard and then you stop. So that's again why I do this channel, and that's hopefully, I don't know, maybe something like that resonates with you. Maybe you feel the same way. Let me know in the comments. how you feel if you're fine sharing your thoughts like that with other people on this channel. It's not like it's blowing up anytime soon. Yeah, but I am getting absolutely obliterated by some mosquitoes right now. So yeah, primed or not primed. Yeah. Go into things knowing it's hard, but knowing that it's easy. But for myself, I'd rather just keep going and be consistent and make that a part of who I am. Who is Jesse? Jesse is somebody who is disciplined and consistent. And I think I want to have that kind of self-talk with myself. Tell myself, like, Jesse, you are a disciplined person. You are a self motivator. You are disciplined. Yeah. One last thought. A buddy of mine plays a lot of these games. Well, I used to play a lot of games like Boom Beach, and I think I got to Clash Royale years ago. And then I asked my buddy, he's like, oh, you want to play? He's like, no, I don't want to play that. And I'm like, why? He said, because those games have no end in sight. Like, you just play until you play, until you play, until you play, and you play and play and play and play. And like, for him, he's like, I want to have a goal. Like, I want to be able to finish the game. And I thought that was kind of interesting. Never thought about it that way, but yeah, that's how you get sucked into some of these games. There's always something to achieve and to move on to the next level, but then the grind becomes so hard. So hard. Anyway, this video is getting way too long. Thank you guys very much for checking in and saying hello to me. Once again, leave a comment down in the chat and I will reply to you. And you guys stay safe, stay self-disciplined. Like I say, discipline, self-discipline is the name of the game. And every day I'm trying to cast a vote for myself. And hopefully you're taking steps to cast a vote for yours as well too. All right, take care. Love you guys. Aloha. And I'll see you guys in the next one.